Okay, this is categorization 8. The last one we did delocalization of meaning and induction as implications of contextual categorization theory. In this one we'll do 2 more or so. Alright, so let's start with the third implication. Application of terms is a judgment. Let me say that again. Application of terms is a judgment. What that means is the application of a category to see something as an instance of this is a judgment that you make. So to see this skin as whatever you see it as, Egyptian, Latino, black, if you see black there somewhere, however it is you judge an individual, beauty, relative height, economic situation, however it is you judge somebody, is your judgment. That is to say, you know, I have a friend, he tells me, hey, I'm going out with this girl, she's totally hot. He brings her in, I see her, I'm thinking, huh, are you kidding? You know, no, not. Each of us is seeing the object, let's say sincerely, but it's us making a judgment about that object. So the application of a category is a judgment that the objectifier, the categorizer, makes of the object. That's the third implication. Here's the fourth. Proper usage is agreed usage. What is correct application is what is agreed upon. The agreement doesn't have to be total. Who has to agree? Well, let's say this about that. If you don't use the proper application, you can be sanctioned. What is proper application is non-sanctioned application. So that if you say that the person you're going out with is beautiful and your friends don't deny it or don't go, hey dude, open both eyes, then in effect that's a proper application. You get to think that and everything is all right. There are people in high school who are seen as beautiful because the word gets out that other people see them as beautiful and nobody wants to come out and say ugh. So that person ends up being beautiful. So it's a conventional definition, which is to say everybody sort of accepts it. And you can tell that it's accepted because nobody disputes it. Nobody sanctions it. Now, if you say, wow, I look good. And then people start coming up to you and go, no, look, I'm not against you, but no, you really don't look good. Okay, that's you trying to apply something and it not working. It usually works like this. You know, it's like, oh, I hate this person. And somebody else goes, hey, I don't think they're so bad. Just that. Anytime you try and apply a category and there's some pushback, some resistance, where you have to then sort of explain, well, I think they're bad because of this. Anything like that at all, and it's not an accepted definition. What's proper is what is non-sanctioned, what is completely accepted, what is taken for granted, what nobody worries about, which you can say anywhere and not think that there's going to be a problem with it. That's what's proper at any time. That's what an object effectively is for everybody around and in the situations that you're in. That's what counts. Proper usage is agreed usage. So those two work hand in hand. You can apply any term you want, but the world around you can sanction your application. You can get in trouble for certain applications. You can say the wrong thing at the wrong time and it won't work out. You may think that's okay to say in a job interview, but if the person that's interviewing you doesn't think it's okay, then you don't get the job. That's a wrong usage on your part. Again, what's proper and what's applied doesn't have to do with the features of the object. It has to do with the people seeing the object and their relationships with each other. Okay, so there's 2 fairly quickly. I think we can fit a couple more in. The next one is all nets are equivalent. So in having said that proper usage is agreed usage, what I'm not saying is that what everybody agrees to is reality, that that's really the way things are. I'm not actually studying that kind of reality. I would argue that in terms of race, ethnicity, and even nationality in the way that it's used in the United States, there is no corresponding reality that I can find. People use these categories to understand the world here. And so let's go through them again. There's Asian Americans here, but you go to Asia and there's no Asians. Nobody says, oh yeah, I'm an Asian. In Asia, they are Laotian or Thai or South Korean or Japanese. The Asian thing really works here and doesn't work there. Latino works up here, but I don't know that there's Latinos south of the United States border. There are Mexicans and Guatemalans and Salvadorans and Nicaraguans and Costa Ricans, and I'm sure I left somebody out. My apologies. But the terms we use here don't necessarily work there. Now, who's right? Everybody is different. Everybody has some similarities. We decide in different places to ignore certain similarities and attend certain dissimilarities, or we ignore certain differences and we attend some similarities. And so in order to get a notion of black that includes all of the people that you include in that category, you have to ignore completely so many differences in so many different physical features. Is that wrong or right? Blah, I don't know. I'm not a wrong or right guy. This is how I think the world works. Here, this is what's used. And what's used is the issue for me. I'm a sociologist. I'm studying how people work the world and how the world works them. Right? I don't even know that any of this stuff really exists. DNA doesn't know that you've put racial, ethnic, and national categories. Biology, or the workings of living organisms, don't necessarily need your categorization systems in order to continue. In that sense, no, it's not real. If you are born African American in this country, there is a 50% chance that you will be born into poverty. That is real. Poverty is real. You can measure poverty. It's a thing in the world. And your life chances are correlated to racial difference in this country, and always have been. That's real. But is that biologically real? Genetically real? Not my field of expertise. Okay. Having said that, I can't really judge, according to the theory, whose way of thinking about it or categorizing is better than somebody else's. I'm here simply studying how our nets collect the fish. That's all I'm really after here. So I'm not here to tell you your way of seeing these things is wrong, my way is right. For me, it's all the Azandi, it's all magic, it's all what we do. I look at the way that it's done, I note the political, economic, social, and personal consequences of how it's done. And that's what I do. Is race done better in Brazil, South Africa, the Netherlands, the United States, Canada? I don't know who measures these things and what type of measuring stick they have. But again, that's not my deal. Okay, only a little bit more to go.